Okay, what do we have first? Let's look at Roadhog.
Roadhog's rework is coming, and here's everything you need to know. First is his new ability, Pigpen. Roadhog will launch a trap that, if triggered, will slow down and damage enemies for 60 initial damage and 30 damage per second in the area for 3 seconds. It'll also reduce movement by 40% and is on a 12-second cooldown. Alt-Fire Scattershot has been removed. Scrapgun will now shoot less pellets with 4 large projectiles in the center of the shot. Each projectile does 15 damage, and his pellets have been increased to 6.25 damage. Finally, the Take a Breather healing ability has become resource-based with a new resource meter, and the cooldown has been decreased from 8 to 1 second. The amount healed depends on the charge, and a full charge will take 12 seconds to recover, which heals 450 health over 3 seconds. And the damage reduction while active has been reduced from 50 to 30%. As always, you can find information on Roadhog's rework and more at Overwatch.
Interesting. Look at that. Looks like a Junkrat mine. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the center. The spread is wild with the pellets, but those 4 in the middle are kind of wild. And the heals... No, I think the heals are better, actually.
And will now shoot less pellets with 4
I'll explain why.
In the center of the shot. Each projectile does 15 damage, and his pellets have been increased to 6.25.
That makes him more of a brawler. Hook is the same. Hook is the same. Whole hog is the same.
It has become resource-based with a new...
The resource base is big implication for tanking. Okay, let's read the patch notes here. The Roadhog rework. The broad goal of the Roadhog rework was to improve his frontline presence on the battlefield as a tank hero and reduce the frustration enemy players had with how consistently deadly his hook combo had been in the past. Okay, so wait, hold on. Let's unpack the deadliness of his hook. If I'm not mistaken, does this not do more damage? Isn't the hook total damage per shot's back to 160? There's less pellets, but there's a center projectile, so 160 plus hook does 30 damage plus a melee is enough to kill. Hook still does what, 30 or 50? And then melee does 30. 160 if you hit all the pellets should be enough to still one shot. Okay, these numbers are down here as well. That one's just a different version of it, but you know, let's talk for a second. So, reduced deadly combo in the past. Roadhog's previous scrap gun had a primary and secondary fire, which had been reworked into one primary fire shot that is still most effective at close range, but also deals more reliable damage from further away now. His Take a Breather had been changed to a resource-based ability and has been moved to the secondary fire for a more convenient control scheme. It can be used more frequently, but will need to recharge its resource over time, increasing its flexibility as a tanking tool and making it not as easy to counter. He now has a new ability called Pigpen, which is a deployable trap that activates when enemies are nearby, dealing damage and slowing them. This enables Roadhog to have control over a wider area, and with a little bit of pre-planning can be used to either help protect his allies or further enhance the effectiveness of his hook combo. Yeah, the hook trap combo, one-shot body shots are possible with no headshots, correct. Okay, so let's actually read the full patch notes, and then I'll give you my personal thoughts on the first impressions. I've not played it yet. Scrap gun. The previous secondary fire has been removed, so right click is gone. I don't know what button it is on console. I assume left trigger is the other one. The total damage per shot, if all the pellets land, is actually higher mathematically. All body shots are now 160 instead of 150. The pellet count of each shotgun, all the pellets are reduced, -9, 25 to 16. Per pellet damage is up from 6 to 6.25, but to make up for the loss of 9 pellets, 9 pellets times 6 is what, 54 damage gone, or almost 60. 9 times 6.25 is close enough to 60. There's a shrapnel of 4 large projectiles in the center of the shot, and shrapnel does 15, so this is another 60 damage to make up for the lack of 9 pellets gone. But the headshot multiplier is reduced, so if we look at the video again, you can see it again. You can see it again over here, right there, the shrapnel in the center, 1, 2, 3, 4, right there, and then all the pellets are spread. So this makes it a lot more consistent, right in the middle. Hard to say how this will work out. The headshot multiplier being reduced is a big one, because a lot of times as Roadhogs, you go in and you shoot like the upper chest and the neck area, and you do get a couple of pellets that hit the headshot multiplier, which helps the one shot. So this may reduce the consistency of the one shot, which I guess is what their goal was, to remove the consistency of it if you just do the hook scrap gun combo itself, but it solves the problem of being a more of a brawler ability, less of a, you know, trying to time the secondary fire distance and then actually absolutely one-shotting someone or just doing like no damage because they don't explode. Interesting choice here. I'm okay with this. Now, take a breather. I personally think, after reading this earlier, is probably the bigger change that, you know, people are always focused on the pig pen, but take a breather being on a resource is actually a huge change for him. In my opinion, sounds like a bigger one. And here's why. So now you activate it by holding the secondary fire because it got replaced. Personally, I'd probably rebind this to the E or the previous button because of muscle memory. That's just me. Now, the cooldown for each use is decreased from 8 seconds to 1 second, and it's a resource meter, which will deplete while Take a Breather is active and then recharge when it's not in use. Take a Breather requires 12 seconds to reach full charge from empty, and at full charge, it heals 450 health over 3 seconds. Okay. If you do the math, 450 over 3 seconds is over like 120 something HP or 150 HP a second if you pump the full heal. And then the recharge is effectively what, 37.5 HP per second to let it recharge to full. Okay, so instead of just a one-time heal back 450 and you time it, it seems like it actually has more implications, and I'll get into it in a second. Take a Breather will now remain active as long as its assigned hotkey is held. You can also add the option to toggle the button. That's good, or you can just do it based on how long you hold. The damage reduction is decreased from 50% to 30%, and it no longer amplifies healing received upon ending. So this part sounds bad on paper because it's like, oh, only 30% damage reduction, but this is a 30% damage reduction by choice. Roadhog can now die to Diva Bomb with new Take a Breather, but yeah, you don't have to, just don't stand in front of it. It's only 1,000 damage in the center, 30% reduction. Yeah, it used to do 500, now it does 700 because you're only reducing it by 30%. Just don't stand in front of it. If you just take a few steps back, it'll be in the second ring of damage of the Diva Bomb, and you'll be fine. Just be careful. Just don't, because previously, yes, you could just walk in front of it, take a breather, and tank the whole thing. But just take a few steps back and just don't die. But this is actually a big change because even though it's 30% reduction, I'm gonna show you the implications. You can choose when to do it on a resource meter. So whenever you want, you can tempo it to have a 30% reduction at all times. It's basically Fortify Light by choice, and you have a resource meter. So if you see a Rhine Fire Strike coming and you can't dodge it, just quickly and then just walk away. You don't have to lose the whole cooldown, just tap it. It'll go on a 1 second cooldown, but you just reduce the damage. You get stuck by a pulse, you don't even have to out heal. You just vape for like a second, and you don't get locked in the animation as well. So it gives you more agency to also just like quick tap the heal to stop a big burst and then go for a hook or something. Previously, if a diva threw a bomb and it explodes, yes, you can tank it, but you have to finish the whole animation and she can remech. Now she's beside you and bombs, you can quickly like take a few steps back, don't stand right in front of it. It'll do less damage when you stay out of the ring. Pop it for a second, just, you know, tank it, and then you can hook because you're not locked in the animation. You actually have more agency as a Roadhog player. If you see an Orisa throw a spear at you, if you see a Sigma, he's a very fixed tempo, right? Sigma shoots like pew pew, pew pew, pew pew, and he throws a rock. If you see him go pew pew and a rock, you can just tank the whole thing. 30% reduction, time it, go for the hook, damage him, and if you need to vape again, you can. If you get antied, you know, if you get doom punched while you're vaping previously, it's a full 8 second cooldown gone. Now it's 1 second and it's back. So there's less, like hard counters don't really exist anymore. His survivability goes up way more, even though this is 30% damage reduction. I read some comments saying like this is worse, but I'm like, well, in what world is this worse? People just see, oh, 30% reduction, oh, you know, it's less healing, but I'm like, it's not about the healing. It's about, that's just a skill issue. If you need to rely on the 350 HP crutch every 8 seconds previously, you're just bad. Skill issue. Being able to situationally heal and choose when to heal and tank things is way more skill representation. This is my favorite change for Roadhog to make him feel more dynamic. This is actually a really good change to make him feel less counterable, if that makes sense, for the Roadhog player themselves. Now the Pigpen, the new ability, I've seen a lot of different opinions of this, and I'm also in agreement with this. I don't think they actually needed to add this ability. It just makes him more annoying. And I can see like 4 use cases of Pigpen, where now you launch the trap, slows and damages enemies. You're not actually hindered like a Junkrat trap, so it's just a slow. It just does a slight knock up, which is a soft CC. It does a bit of damage and the AoE slow, which is really annoying. But because it's not really like true CC, yeah, you can escape it. But there's a few ways you can maneuver around this, I see. Number one, obviously if they step on it, it makes it for an easier hook. Like you set it up like a Junkrat trap usually, they accidentally walk on it, you can land your hook easier. That's one. Number two is you actually already have it in front of you. You hook, and as you pull them and they slide over it, it does extra damage for you to help your one-shot combo. That's two. Number three, you can put it off to the side, and what Alec Dawson explained earlier was you can hook them, turn them, and pull them into it. Number four, you can just like whole hog them into it if they happen to be like in an area where you push them into the corner for a little bit of bonus damage. That's four. Number five is you set up the trap near your supports or someone that you think a Genji or Tracer is going to dive into, and it's like a protection area. So it gives him the ability to help his teammates in that capacity. That's like four uses already. There's probably more use cases, but that's just four or five I thought of off the top of my head. A lot of people think that it's like you must set it up, put it down, and then you can hook them easier. But if you're a Roadhog player, the hook is not that hard to land. You should be landing like 50% of your hooks. I don't know what everybody's hook accuracy is in the chat, but 50% I think is like a pretty medium ground. So like, you know, I don't think people will rely on that too much. Or another use case is you're brawling and fighting. You already hook them in and you throw the pig pen behind them. And then when they try to escape, they get slowed again, which allows you to dominate them with a bit more of the scrap gun. So this is just more CC to play against, which is probably really fun for Roadhog, to be honest with you. But as someone who plays against a Roadhog, it's probably going to feel really annoying to have to deal with another form of CC. He has hook, he has pig pen, and he has whole hog, which is quite a bit to deal with. I don't know about reducing it's definitely the frustration with the hook combo is probably gone because of this headshot multiplier. True, but now you're adding more frustration with extra forms of CC. If it was up to me, I'm not a hero bounce designer. Everyone's gonna have different opinions, but my opinion is that he actually didn't need this pig pen ability. I actually like this take a breather change and this scrap gun change, to be honest with you. I haven't played it yet, but on paper, this take a breather gives him more dynamicism. You just add this to help him tank things, and you reduce the value of anti-nade on either tanks or make anti-nade on Ana a 50% healing reduction, and Hog is in a fine spot. Hog is playable as long as they don't have an Ana. If they have an Ana, because of the way the old cooldown was, he's so easy to just throw a nade on and it cut off his entire take a breather and you just kill him. But if he has this where he can, like, you know, choose to not waste the whole cooldown, if he gets antied, he can run to cover and then still doesn't lose his entire take a breather. That helps his effectiveness. And I think this by itself already made him playable, to be honest with you. And then you can make him more of a brawler. That's just my place. That's my opinion. He didn't need pig pen. Everything else is the same. Hook, ult. That's my thoughts on Roadhog. I think he's actually going to be pretty good. Well, if anything, you're still forced to play Ana. Nothing changes, like, because it's anti-nade that just actually ruins him. Sleep Dart is actually not as effective anymore because previously, if you did sleep him during take a breather, he wakes up, he loses the whole cooldown. But now if he gets slept, he can just retake a breather again. So that reduces that. You know, Roadhog in Overwatch, or at the beginning of Overwatch 2, already had it, so his ultimate is a channeled ability because you can stop using whole hog and go for a hook. And if you get slept out of it or stunned, you can still whole hog. So like CC doesn't affect his ult or his take a breather anymore. So yeah. Does he still get damage reduction if he's purple? Yes, he does. But yeah, again, change anti-nade for Ana. Keep this take a breather. I still have to play around with scrap gun, and he didn't need pig pen. And I actually think he was an okay hero. But that's just me as a non-Roadhog player. We still have to wait and see. Well, I'll play it out and just give honest feedback how it is. Everyone's like overreacting, or you give initial thoughts. Mine's just an initial thought, but I'm not like super for or against it, to be honest with you, against Roadhog. I'm always welcome for changes. I actually like the new Sombra change, and we just have to see how it plays. I actually didn't like the Sombra change at first, but like after a few days of playing it, it grew on me. So maybe this one grows on people, and it's okay. We shall see. And that is the only thing for tomorrow's mid-late season patch, because they had a mid-season patch 2 weeks ago. Roadhog change is okay. Bug fixes, they just fixed some loading stuff. Rumble, Lifeweaver used to cleanse Discord orb. That caused it to cleanse Discord orb, but I guess you're not supposed to. People who hopped out pedal platform before it's fully raised would not be EMP'd. Fix an interaction that could result in Sombra being pinned by a charging Reinhardt instead of teleporting to the translocator. Okay. Hack. It's all Sombra bugs. Invisibility. Oh, this, yeah, I'm under Sombra, of course, but it's mostly Sombra. This is even a Sombra fix, too. Okay, and then fixed Zarya's thing with projected barrier. Okay, I'm excited to try it. And also, they are releasing him in ranked right away tomorrow. Usually with new hero releases, they give it like a week or two before they go into ranked, mostly for the free players, free-to-play players who don't buy the premium battle pass to unlock the new hero. But this is going into ranked tomorrow. So if you guys are looking to play Overwatch starting tomorrow, this new Roadhog will be right in, just like the new Sombra rework. That's right. Have fun. Reworks don't get delays because there's nothing to learn besides one new ability, neither Sombra. But anyways, it's not even about learning the new ability. Alex said it's mostly for free players to unlock the new hero for the battle pass for the free-to-play players. I'm sure there's some free-to-play players in the chat, but I assume a lot of you guys are premium battle pass players. Basically, because if you're invested enough in Overwatch to watch a Twitch stream, I feel like you're an invested player that probably buys the battle pass. So you do get the new hero right away. Or you have enough coins for it. But yes, that's their reasoning. Oh, you don't play the game. Okay, that makes sense too. Anyways, that's the patch.